third item is number D, is tender for valuation role. Tender shillings 2 billion Kenya shillings against a contract sum of 99.7 million Kenya shillings. Our response here is as follows. The county faced the preparation of the valuation role due to the high cost involved in view of the current budgetary and cash constraints. Kenya shillings 13.2 million relates to the first phase and due procurement process is followed in this case. And respective procurement documents are available for your view. They were given an annex that is annex B, which my CC can provide documentation for the valuation. So just to make sure that you are the same page in regards to that procurement. Procurement documents related to the road spare, which of the listed roads also provided. The documents are available for the Senate committee, and the specific documentation, as listed, we have the tender documents, advertisement, the legal policies, the public preference, the tender opening and evaluation reports, professional opinion. We have the recommendation to award, public inspection and acceptance certificates, use of the payment vouchers and progressive certificates of works done and certificates of practical completion. All those, and I can just make sure that all the members have the annexes from Annex 1 up to Annex 4, which gives the details of what we have done to reflect at the observation. Chair, pursuant to Standing Order number 53, Section 1 of the Decided Standing Orders, I want to respond to the schedule of rental expenses incurred by the county. And our first response here is rental fees paid by the county. The county has been specified places, the local in Jamaica, and of course one at the last office in Nairobi, for which the annual rent payable is with 1.4 million shillings. Most of the rated approaches we are used by the board administration in efforts to break out the services within this. And a few ministries, however, apart from rental commercial premises in Kakamega Camp, owing to the large number of personnel required to appreciate service delivery by the county government of Kakamega has been submitted. This is the Annex A 1, which again I want to confirm that honorable members have the listing of all the premises, so that on the same page, that's what they are here. Is showing a listing of all the premises that are registered. Item number 2 on the rental expenses chair is mentioned that we put in place to reduce on the expenses, and our response to the photos. The county previous president appointed to various county and board administration offices, but has since constructed sub-county administration offices across the 12 sub-counties. The county has planned to build a new headquarters in Kakamega County to house those ministries operating from rented premises in order to reduce the rental expenses. That's our approach to ensure that the rental expense is reduced, and this is going to happen in the next financial year. The last item, Chair, second last is on also revenue. Also revenue generated from the years 2021, 2022, and 2022, 2023. Section 109 of the BFM Act requires the county especially to ensure that all the money raised or received by and on behalf of the county government is paid to the county revenue fund in line with the provision of the Act. What money is raised locally is periodically swept into the CRF account at the central bank and not utilized as source. Once swiped to the CRF account, all withdrawals are subjected to oversight and control by the controller of budget. And for the record chair, for the specific financial years 2021-2022, the county generated 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. That is on non-source revenue. And in 2022-2023, we recorded 1.3 billion Kenya shillings. This represents an increase of 0.2%. And of course, we have also annexed a schedule of the revenue streams. That is in Annex B. Just to ensure that we are on the same page on the non-source revenue. Right? Yeah, are we on the same page? Very well. On the second item, Chair, on also revenue projections for 2023-2024, we are highlighting the main sources. Again, we are projecting 22.2 billion Kenya shillings as also revenue for this financial year 2023-2024. The main sources are shown in the schedule of also revenue streams which we have provided. That is Annex B and Q. The other item here is the measures being put in place to ensure that our target of 2.2 billion is achieved. Number one, we have updated for the finance bill 2023. We have also mapped out tapping into unexpected revenue streams, like the completion of the evaluation project. I want to appreciate myself, the authority approved it. We're also doing automation and integration of the revenue system. We're doing capacity of our revenue staff and also improving on the internal controls and systems just to ensure that all the leakages around also revenue are addressed. Lastly, Chair, revenue enhancement plans which have been submitted to the Ministry of Finance and the Economic Plan. Although the county did not submit any revenue enhancement plans to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Plan, it is participated in the Office of the Federal Budget, the National Monetary Fund, and United Nations Capital Development Fund to sponsor tax legislation diagnostic assessment tool program, which sought to assist counties correcting projects and enhance their own sustainability knowledge. I want to thank you and welcome the representation.
Thank you very much, honorable members.
Governor, thank you so much. The only issue I have, if you go to rentals, it baffles me why the county government, I know this is something you inherited, why a county government would actually rent private properties from private individuals when the county government, I am sure the county of Kakamega, like any other counties in Kenya, some of the buildings are actually not even being utilized for the purpose they were meant for. So I've listened to your explanation, and the only question I wanted to ask you is, could you also therefore then give us a schedule in terms of programming, how long you think it will take you to resettle government, county government employees, management and team to government-owned buildings so that this 71 million shillings, which is being utilized for rent and being paid to private individuals, could be utilized even by buying medicines or providing water services which our people really need. Thank you, sir. Finally, I want to say, Chair, I also happen to be, as I said, in the CPR committee, and we have received Governor Barasa severally. Sir, I am actually impressed with your homework. Thank you very much, and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a chairman, so that I don't look like I'm complaining, I'm a stickler to parliamentary procedure. This responses we needed to serve us in advance so that we interrogate them for us to comprehensively interact. But that notwithstanding, I have the following issues. Question 1, page 1 of your response. Specifically, the one in our hall was not procured by the SAP. So we can't hold you responsible. However, you are the one who paid. He was not the outgoing, no, the whole government who paid, it's you who paid. So having paid, it means you are satisfied and therefore you take full responsibility. The following questions. Out of 6 roles, 3 of them you've given to Meta, or rather you paid them. I'd like you to explain why this company called Meta is being favored by your government at the expense of the many other construction companies that are competent that we know in this country. And by extension, IoT contractors. Midland, I know who Midland is. That's the everybody in this room. But I would like you to tell us the directors of IoT contractors. That is question. Question number 2, you told us that the reason why you paid twice, 48 and 47 million, it was because of 2 separate interim completion certificates. So I'd like you to share with us evidence of those completion certificates, and tell us what persuaded you that the road we have witnessed today, one certificate deserved 48 million and you paid, and again you are satisfied and you paid a further 47 million. So that completion, share with us, tell us what work had been achieved for a whooping 95 million shillings. Question number 3, to the issue of the rents. Governor, I must thank you on this one. When I heard that you did public participation soon after you were elected and you wanted to put up a county headquarters, if it was in the good old days, I would have looked for you for a post. Because of this question, if your predecessor had thought along your line, we would not have been losing 71 million shillings per year. For the last 10 years plus your 1 year and 2 months, this county has lost 1 billion shillings for rent. So I would have toasted with you. But having done that, you now have brought your people from the estate in Mudiri. Why you have now commenced the construction? Then if it is a procurement process, if it is started, tell us where you are and why it is taking too long. Finally, Governor President, every time you see me ask a question in Parliament, it's not personal. It is issues, issues, issues. When a member of Parliament, Senator of the National Assembly asks a question, there is usually the question behind the question. So I now want to ask you the question behind this question. It is called in parliamentary practice supplementary question. So the supplementary question is as follows. You and I live in this council. We know that we have just completed the construction of this building in which we are sitting. So the question behind this question was, if you are losing this money in rent, if you are commencing construction of a modern office, for which I support you in Mudiri, why then have you closed down this office to make improvements on a building which is less than 24 months old. That we cannot fold you because you've started. Having started, I would like you to give us the following evidence. For the construction that you are doing in this building. One, we'd like you to speak to the procurement procedure, up to and including copies of the advertisement that you put up to pull down this building and put up improvements. We'd like you to give us tender documents. You give us tender evaluation reports. You give us the professional opinion on the same.
I think it's a substantive matter. The matters we come to execute in the order in which we have executed, and they need to exhaust the question thereafter. And yes, is there any other supplementary question we can ask on the side? What you're asking is substantive.
Yes, Chairman, I will tell you how we shall go about it. I'm highly experienced. Governor, it shouldn't look personal. Okay? Just like I told you about the data in our previous. There are certain things you cannot respond to on the spot. So once I raise these issues, you can then furnish us with the information. And if you have it now, you can discuss. So I'll just conclude it. You give us.
It's also the same matter this committee we want to be able to prosecute on these matters. To the extent that if we sound ignorant as committee on the issues that are being raised that are not perhaps issues that we were previously privy to, then it becomes for us a challenge as a committee to be able to execute on them. So I think that the reason why you raise those issues so that you can be able to deal with them. So I think that there's a
Mr. Chairman, I don't want you to allow members to rise on a frivolous point of order. You know that rental fees paid by the Kakamega County government is an issue I raised in plenary and which was marked to your committee. So I have said the supplementary question which was coming behind this rental was actually this construction which is going there. There was no way I would have brought it in. So once you list my concerns, then you'll satisfy us. And if Senator Eddy, I beg your pardon. If Senator Eddy or any other senator who is in Nairobi today, not necessarily a member of this committee, they'll be able to then partake of it because it will be comprehensive. So in conclusion, you give us the payment vouchers, if any, and you give us progressive certificates to this new contract that is outside the procurement law.
Senator Kalwani,
Point of order.
1 minute. And we like to execute matters through intimidation. And we've done it very well in terms of shutting down the session, shutting down the chair. What you're guiding on is that on the matters primarily here, I would like the honorable members to exhaust. Then if you have supplementary issue, you can raise it there. Because you will lose the senators in terms of trying to introduce an issue that you have executed. Now, what I wanted to do is to make sure the other two senators are able to reflect. Thereafter, if you have supplementary question, you can raise.
Okay.
And I will still proceed to give the vice chair on the current issue that is there, and then Senator Eddy, myself, and then
I wanted to follow right after him so that I don't come back again.
hold on. Senator Davita, please.
Thank you, Chair. Just to note, time seems not also to be on our side because we have flights to catch. will need your guidance on the same chair. But because my colleagues have actually DPS the questions that were on table, they really got it into them. So mine is just much more onto this Midland company because I know it appears as one of your rental, suppliers, number 16. I wanted you to confirm to this committee if Midland Properties is also the same company as the Midland Construction Company because per year they seem to be 5 million for rent. So are they the same as the construction company? Lastly, on the same one, Governor, I know you're new, but you had a predecessor. Article 179 is very clear that says that at the end of the day, you are the CEO of this county, you are the boss of this county. And is it not curiosity to you that Midland Construction got a contract in 2019? And before they even finished or executed, they also got another contract, also a similar amount in the year 2021, before you came to office. Why is one company enjoying to work with the Kakamega County, up and including in your term, whereby if they are the same in terms of the builder properties, to still offer the rentals? It's just a curiosity of this company. Thank you, Chair.
Senator,
Thank you, Chair. Mine actually, I like to focus because when we visited Kakamega to be governor, the project that we visited, or the greater major concern, was the Navajo, I think, the road, the Navajo road construction. And my understanding when I left Nairobi was that the subcontract for this particular road was 95 million. The committee. But when I got here, I realized actually that the subcontract was 448 million. That is average. And basically, what then it shows is that about 1/6, so I do the math correctly, of what is the sum contract that has been paid for this particular project. Because if you may, it would be about 17% for those who want to do the math in percentage. And we rode through that road. I think that it was quite a lengthy drive. I must say that I was impressed by the service levels, if indeed that was the amount that has been paid. But that said, I wanted to understand, Governor, what is the status of that project? What are the timelines of the completion of that project? I think it's one of the most contentious issues in the few audit queries with regard to this pending bills. In fact, if in my understanding of pending bills, I might not even call it a pending bill now because some contract has contradicted the initial thought of what the subcontract was supposed to be. So it will be very clear if you tell us what is the status of that project now, and you have proper timeline that you expect that particular road to be fully paved and tarmacked to completion. Otherwise, thank you.
before I weigh in, I will give Senator Onyonka the quick national council.
Governor, the question I wanted to ask is when you look at the issue about the road and you look at the issue about the questions that have been raised in terms of the Midland properties and Midland construction company which has been given this road, are you aware in any way on whether these issues have been raised by the Auditor General and what are the issues that they have specifically raised? And I would request, Chair, that you can correspond back to the committee in Nairobi.
Okay, before I weigh in, I give you the options of 1 minute to.
Sorry, Chairman, just because you disoriented me, I had not asked my last question. On source revenue, I refer you to your answer, the next chair. there, and I take you to item 16, inbound fee. The different third one. Yes. Could you clarify that impounding fee refers to the money you collect from our business people in town when you take away their property? Please explain that. Then the next one, you talked about cess. I would like to segregate the cess in Kakamega. You tell me how much you collect from Butari Sugar, how much you collect from West Kenya, and how much you collect from the gold miners, from Rastaman, of Marinya, of Bushangana, and of Virembe. That income, like it's get and figures. And again, as I say, you don't have the answers at the tip of your fingers, just send us the report. Then we'll
Thank you, Chair. We have, Your Excellency, just a few many questions. However, as Senator Kamala said, I know some of the questions you may not have the documents and answers readily with you. But the interest of making the report is exhaustive to finish, I would like you to take the offer as given. Some of the questions you can choose to respond to us in writing with the evidence that is required to facilitate our response. Mine is only two issues because most of the issues have been well executed by the members. One, I know a lot of times I sit in this committee and I share a bit of experience. The question by the committee about Midland is not like Midland is doing anything wrong. I don't want it misunderstood because there is nothing absolutely legally wrong by any contractor doing 1, 2, 3, 4 projects, even in a given financial year, if it's the most responsive, contractor in a tender, in all aspects, technical, financial, and others. So the issue is just clarification as to whether there is any fault play, considering this contract was not awarded by your government, but it was awarded by your predecessor. That is just for purposes of, so that as you also respond to this, I don't want the Senate to be seen as if we are condemning a given company because it has 2 contracts or 3. If the contracts have been legally awarded, and it's the tender and procurement process has been formally followed and as laid down by the law, and this company so happens to be the most responsive company in that given category. So it's not a fault, it's just an understanding that needs to be created so that it's not misunderstood by you and your team that we are trying to condemn a given company. When I came here today as the chair of this committee, based on the report we had and the interaction we've had with your team, there was an impression given that the roads in question, one, the total tender sum was 47, another one, the total tender sum was 48 million. So for damaging of those roads, during the engagement in the committee, I raised an issue saying this one can't happen for this number of kilometers based on the prevailing rate for tarmac road per kilometer. And today, after arriving here in Kakamega, is when I got to find out that the contract sum is 448 million, and what was paid was 47 and 48 respectively for 2 different roads. It gives a complete different picture of what we have come to engage with, and we drove on that road, and have to be very frank, so that the contractor is not unnecessarily condemned as to whether the procurement process has been followed, whether the paper trails required are in order. Those are things I'm not reflecting on. I'm only reflecting on as to whether, based on the stage of the progress of work, whether some substantive work has been done on the ground, and we have seen substantive work has been done. But the issue that is in question here is the issues raised by the Senate in terms of documentation and that issue. So as you respond, I would like you to respond and go quickly through the documents. I've seen some tender procurement related documents are on file. If there's any issue missing, we would like to know because initially I really wanted to get the tendering documents for this. And most important is if you can give us the certificate of work so far completed. That is for the two roads. Detailing what is accomplished. We have already seen that we have to make informed decision. And if you have not furnished the committee with the tender documents for the two respective roads, we like to request that you furnish. And number three, you really need to get that contractor back on site, Your Excellency. Because if the amount of work done goes to waste and finish, then that is when the time when we are going to have then where the value of money has been attained. Lastly, the objective of this exercise is to make sure that the contractors who are legally contracted, who have done the job, who have used their money to do the job, and who are, members of this society all across the country, end up getting paid their money. So what you will expect from this committee is that of the pending bills verified already by the Auditor General, yourself and your team, we like, because this is at the tail end, of course, if you send us that, we'll be able to conclude a report. After you, we like you to furnish this committee with a compliance schedule of how you intend to pay the verified pending bills, and in over what period of time, plus the accompanying schedules in consultation with your team. Over to you. Whatever you need to respond to now, you have the answers. Please respond. Whatever you need to avail to the committee because of time, you will avail to the committee in writing for us to conclude our report. Over to you, Excellency.
Thank you, Chair and wonderful members. First, I want to appreciate you for coming to disapprove the doubting Thomases who had misreported that the hotel number 4 at the use road, the contract sum is 48 and 47 million. I think the work of the committee, what you have done today, that verification exercise, I want to appreciate you because you have actually confirmed that the contract sum for that road is 450. So I think this was without necessarily sounding to the root. I think Senator Hadwari misled your colleagues by raising a question for the Navajo Road. Then the contract sum is 95 million, and yet the real facts on the ground are different. So I really want to appreciate the chair and your committee for coming on the ground to confirm that indeed they say contract sum with this road complete or not. When you go to that road, I'm also very happy that we have confirmed the workmanship is up to speed. That means as the technical and financial capacity. When you go to the status of that road, as we speak right now, the works done on that road is only 30%. But the payments which have been done is even less than the works done. We have only paid 47 and 48 million out of 448 million contracts. What that tells you is that sometimes people may be having political issues or political scores to settle, but I want to appreciate the committee that you've come on the ground to actually disarm those colleagues who are misrepresenting facts. The verification exercise is very good, and for me, as the sitting governor, I'm also very happy with the contracts that was given. At least the fact that the contractor is doing a good job, despite the fact that At the moment, they are not fully mobilized. It means that the procurement process did not necessarily favor Midland. I know Midland is a contractor. We have Midland Construction. That is different from Midland Properties. Those are not the same contractors. The rent that um, we are paying, of course, we have the agreements which were executed. We have tenant agreements which the county had executed with Midland Property. And that one, once we construct our county headquarters, then you are going to see off those tenants agreements. So, Chair, on the visit, I think it was long overdue. It has actually confirmed so many things which did not have confirmed if they had not come to the ground. I cannot say that Midland is favored. My first responsibility when I came on board is to ensure that any pending bill is first and foremost verified. There was a verification process that was done for all the pending bills and the works which Midland had executed to warrant payment for certificate number one that was paid last year and certificate number two that was paid early this year. This is in accordance a process which was verified by the engineers. So there was no foreplay. We give you the certificates of the payments which you are done with that. So I don't think whether there's anything like a favor because what you're trying to do is before any payment is done on the payment bills, there's a verification process. Whether it's Midlands, whether it's IOT, because my responsibility, as I said, when you come on board, you have to make sure that all the projects which will be inherited and they went through proper procurement are completed. And that's what we're doing. So the side of Midland, I want to confirm here that we don't have a problem. The only challenge, of course, is there are many projects which we inherited. And we have a responsibility to ensure that those projects are completed. It went on time because of the payment milestone. We are going to submit to the committee the status of that project as requested so that you can clearly see the work done vis-a-vis the amount which has been paid and what is paid. And then we'll also give you a schedule of the pending bills and the payment plan thereof. The other issue I want to highlight here is in regards to on-source revenue. What Senator Kadwara has asked, we are going to provide a breakdown for the sales for all those Marinia, Totali, etc. We'll give it in the next 2 weeks. The other issue, Chair, I've already addressed the issue of Midlands. The perception of being favored, I don't think so. Because what we inherit it definitely confirms that this is a very strong company, and the company doing the road is not the company doing, or rather, what our land does. On the other matter which Senator Heward raised, why rent private properties, a schedule of how long we are going to construct the county headquarters. We are now having, we are going through a procurement process. We appreciate the challenge of on-source revenue, which I know the people of Kakamega may not forgive you if you take the money that was meant to do roads, the one put on account headquarters. Now, the process that we are trying to implement, which will be fast in all the 47 counties, is to come on board with something called tenancy purchase agreement, where you get somebody who has a financial muscle, construct a county headquarters, and then you have an arrangement such that instead of paying as like 1 million for rent, that becomes like a mortgage that you pay that company. Then at the end of 10 years, you own that property. This is a model chair that we are game changer. And Kakamega, I'm very proud that we are going to be the first one to implement that model of tenancy purchase agreement, where we'll be saving the county by paying rent in terms of mortgage to that company. And then we have a program that at the end of 10 years, I'm looking at it in terms of beyond my tenure, so that we give the people of Rebecca at least, which will administratively be easier for the future governors like Alwari here, is going to have now a county headquarters. So I'm very proud that this is a project which I'm initiating, and next go through the procurement process. Because for me, process is very important. You can have a good project, but unless you go through the entire due process, again, I'll be before this committee to answer questions, why did we comply with the public procurement disposal process? To comply with the public procurement disposal act, so that we get this company that can pay for us account headquarters on our piece of land through a tenancy purchase agreement. Chair, the other issues which have been highlighted, I've already requested the committee to give us 2 weeks so that we can fully submit. The same applies to supplementary question, and I want to fault my senator. You know, you're asking a question when you already have a predetermined answer. That this is a construction of a building outside the procurement law, which means you're already reading the social media and coming down to ask the questions, and yet you have already judged the county. You cannot say that first of all you're pulling down the bill. This is a simple renovation. And for information, this building is owned by the county. They're not paying rent here. So when you do renovation, it's within our rights, and you are going to submit the details. But my only concern is my senator has already made up his mind that this renovation is outside procurement law.
Just to,
And that's why, Chair, I thought I should on record correct.
yes, I want you to respond to the chair.
Thank
Don't
you, Chair.
respond to the members and what they have raised. Number two, as to whether it is jammed or otherwise, I would like to just provide us the response. Don't bother reflecting, because I know, and I've briefed you before we came in here. Your political dynamics on the ground is not of interest to this committee. I know you can play your politics well, the Honorable Senator can play it well, but we are here officially on Senate business. I want to avoid your response to Senator Carvalho. Senator Carvalho responded to you. I had won, because we are all very observant as we come here. We want to maintain the objectivity of the role of the Senate as we come. Kindly just reflect on the issues, respond to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. On the supplementary question, as I've requested, we are going to provide the issues and the answers and the documentation on the supplementary question and any other requests that the members of the committee.
Chair, I think there's an issue that I really wanted you to allow me.
I want him to say he just took a break.
Okay.
Because if-
Okay, Governor, sorry,
if-
proceed,
If he
proceed.
says I submit, then I will take on.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I think I've highlighted all the issues. Whatever that I've not provided as I've requested, give us 2 weeks, and then we're going to give you comprehensive documentation and explanation there by submitting.
I will allow only one, I can keep it very brief because I cut you.
1 minute.
Just respond.
I just wanted to say that I would want to plead with Governor Barasa and my brother Bonia. The purpose of this visit is literally to come and confirm that the money that we're being asked in the Senate to increase for Kakamega County is being utilized well. Your Excellency, I know sometimes as politicians we feel we are under siege. Even when he may look like his agenda is to try and say what you call an untruth. And I didn't want to go to our standing orders because that means you're actually passing aspersions to his character as a person. I believe that this is a wonderful exercise. The people of Kakamega have listened to both sides and they will be either very happy at the way you answered the question or very happy at the way he's asked the question. I believe this is a win-win. I don't think that you lost and he lost or he gained that you lost. And that's what I wanted to say, Chair, that we want the Senate to be known as a house that mitigates the Kawira Mwangaza issue without favoring anybody. Or indeed, if you have an issue, I wouldn't want to be seen that I'm fighting for governor. But the public should be given the right for me to ask those questions, which maybe I'm misinformed, and the governor corrects it. That's the point I wanted to make.
I'll give you 2 minutes to conclude, but I will give you a conclusion of the chair. First, sincerely, you should thank the Senate of Kakamega because ever since the statement was raised, you've done a lot as a county. The Auditor General has come in and done a bit of work that would have given you headache. And now you have pretty much in over 90% verified pending bill that you're able to plan. So look at the silver line. Other undercurrents are not extremely important, okay? And number two, the contractors who are also your voters and his voters will be very happy to get to know that the pending bills have not forgotten. It's alive from both the executive and the Senate of the county. And number three, this will give you, hopefully, with the help of Almighty Allah, the ambition of anybody else. As you mentioned, I didn't know if my senior member that is going to run for governorship, but I pick it from what you mentioned. And just reflecting on the same, I just want to say, for anybody continuing or taking over, it's very important that the pending bills is put to rest. So if you deal with it, it will make you shine. Okay? If his office picks it up and says, in consultation with the office of the governor and having raised this question, this is the schedule of how we are going to comply, it's also helping. And it also help the contractors. So that is my after we submit the report, finish and give you feedback, I would like a schedule of when you intend to pay to this committee furnish. In 2 weeks, give us the response. We'll also give you final feedback and what we need. Here, all I say, he said, things are not important. What is important ultimately, that we acknowledge these are verified pending bills of the county, legitimately owed to people or individuals, owed by the government, the county government, and that we have a plan of compliance, and this is what we are going to do, attaching the schedules, whether you use the order of age of the liability or otherwise. Because that now is the silver line, and that is something politically important for all. That is my parting shot. I give you 2 minutes to say something, and we close.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. First, I want to appreciate the committee for making this visit to Kakamega County, and also just to assure the committee that we are very committed to what we are doing. We are going to review all the pending bills, and then when we are submitting our report to the committee, we'll definitely give a very detailed payment plan and our schedule of payments, but immediately after the verification. One thing that we are very clear is all the pending bills, even before we submit a payment plan, they must be verified. So we want the committee to indulge us so that we first and foremost do verification of those pending bills. and then we submit a detailed payment plan. So that chair will replace maybe for a month so that the verification process is done, and then thereafter we submit a detailed payment plan. Others, on behalf of my team, I want to appreciate the committee, and you're welcome again to come and do your technical assessment.
Thank you. Just for the technical team, you have 14 days to issue to us. After we give you a final report, you have 30 days to give us a payment. Is that agreed?
That is in order, Chair.
Perfect. And then lastly, I've never been to the county assembly of Kakamega. Your Excellency, and I speak to you now as a former governor to a current governor. Whatever you have to do, please provide the funds required. In less than 12 months, it's doable to put up an assembly building for them. Nimekuwa as a member who has been a governor and also in the Senate, I was a bit embarrassed. The assembly came to us at the beginning of the current financial year. They really described how the assembly chamber is. And we did not, we just said what is justified from what you say is the answer and need government. When we came today, and I will say this, so at least I don't have any better way to say it. The description was grave understatement of the situation that we found. In a very sincere way, I want you to find within you have to provide support for them to have a decent county assembly building. This is for posterity, to outlive the test of time. Because the county government is here, devolution is here, it's important that that happens. And I don't want to look like it was like this and Obama, it didn't happen, that forget about it. Today you're here, Governor Barasa is in charge. Your legacy, if it happens. That I'm talking to a colleague. It has nothing to do with my function and execution of my mandate as the chair finance committee or this committee for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me just to comment on the issue of the counter assembly. I know I've been there. It is actually one of our museums here. But because my commitment for the next 10 years is to ensure that the counter assembly have a better place of making laws that give the oversight. We are going to be the same model of the national rights agreement so that we have a proper counter assembly building that is
Not that you ask for my advice, we are finalizing. I will ask you to be very cautious on that one, but check on the time. And this is just cautious, because it can give you nightmare way after you are out of office.
Chair, just quickly, do you have a petty bills committee? Is there anything to know that?
Yes, we have a very committee and it will go through the process.
There's a ruling on any bills and the responsibility of the county government is by the engagement or the interface with the Auditor General. Please look at that also.
As an ending, formality,